So I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly how I made over $141 million in 8 years selling digital products. So my journey started off with fitness. Okay, and the reason it started off with fitness is not because, you know, I think it's the best offer in the world. It's just that was what I had at the time. So your first business, instead of looking for a home run, start with what you have. So for me, from 12 to 22, I'd played American football and basketball. I had been in a lot of fitness and nutrition and training. I'd done professional modeling. Like, so that made sense, right? It's like, it's what I knew, and I had the look and I had the physique. And so it was really easy for me to start with that. What I did when I first started, and it really kept me stuck for 2 years, is I had a $47 product called the Rapid Muscle System. We'll just call it RMS. And this was my biggest mistake. And the reason it was my biggest mistake is when you try to sell something for super cheap, you need a really big following, which I did not have. So when I would post it, no one would ever really see it. And then number two is I never could make enough money to actually advertise it, right? Because there's only two ways to advertise. You either post it and everyone sees it, so you're Kim Kardashian, or you pay for ads and then you make enough money in return that you can keep running the ad. I wasn't doing neither. And so for this, in 2 years, I'd only made $2,000. So it's a real story. Like, I was basically going nowhere. I was having a really tough time in business. I almost went back to school. It was really tough. Then someone told me, they said, hey, look, instead of selling this for $47, you're gonna sell it for $1,500. And I said, okay, well, that makes no sense, because if I can't sell it for 47, how can I possibly sell it for $1,500? And I'm gonna show you guys how I break that down in a second. But the cool thing is, when you're selling something for $47, you can't really afford to spend a ton of time with that person to sell it, because you're not making hardly any money. So the only way that I could really try to sell it is I would post it on my social media. I get about the same amount of views every single time. It wasn't really growing, and then a few people would buy it. Okay, and so in 2 years I had $2,000, which means what, 20-ish people bought it, give or take. So it just wasn't very much. Then I sold this, and the first week I made 10 grand. Okay, so here was the difference. So first I raised the price point. So we're gonna come down here, what I did different. So I raised the price point to $1,500. I didn't think it was gonna work, but I had nothing to lose because I was broke. And the difference is, with 47, to make it a dent, you might need to get 50 out of 100 people to buy. With this, I only needed 3 out of 100 people to buy. So the thing is, people will say it's way harder, which is true, but it would be like, let's say you're trying to go on dates with a bunch of cute girls. Let's say you asked out a bunch of 10s, only 3 said yes, and then you asked out a bunch of 3s and you had 50 say yes, but it's like, wouldn't you say the 10s are harder, right? Like, I know it's probably a terrible example, but I'm just trying to make an example for the situation. So 3 out of 100 people need to say yes, it was 1,500. So what I did is, because now I was charging more money, I could spend more time. So what I would do is I would reach out to my followers, so I'd DM them, then I'd get them on a call, and then I'd close. And the reason I could do a call now is because the price point was high enough that I could spend more time on these leads. Now, just so you guys understand methodology of what I did, is basically what I would do is I would do 100 DMs a day. I would try to get 30 to reply. These were my followers. And then once you run out of your followers, you could go to cold DMs or Facebook groups, whatever. I get 30 replies. I'd book probably 5 calls from that. And I was really good at sales because I sold door-to-door sales for 9 months before this. And so I was really good at sales. And so I actually would close usually 2 deals. And so for that amount of work, this would usually take me, let's say, this would take me probably about 5 hours. Then I'd have 5 calls, so that'd take me another 5 hours. And then I'd close 2. So for 10 hours of work, I would make $3,000. So I was making $300 an hour. So how many of you guys are making $300 an hour? Probably not a lot. So that made way more sense, but if I took 10 hours to sell a $47 product, it wouldn't work. So this was the first product that actually hit for me. And then I went on later that year and I did $1 million in 12 months, okay? And the way I did that is I rinsed and repeated this process as fast as I could every single day. And I got to around $50,000 a month in about, honestly, it was pretty fast. Like, it was like 60 days. So I was working full time. You guys will laugh, but I made about $50,000 a month. And then I started getting arthritis in my fingers. Well, not my fingers, my thumbs. You guys will laugh, but I was messaging so much. Like, if you see right here on my thumbs, that's where I started getting arthritis. And the doctor was like, hey man, you gotta like chill, but you know, I wasn't. Like, I was working really hard. Once I got to this number though, I knew to get to the next level, I had to figure out paid traffic, because unless you have tons of social media followers, eventually you're gonna need more leads. And so the easiest way to get more leads is you pay for it. But if you're gonna pay for it, you have to get it to work numerically. So on average, I'll kind of break that down for you. What I did is, this was back in 2017. So this was a while ago, like I'm an old man. But what I did is I would run an ad. So I'd pay Facebook for an ad, I'll give you the numbers. And they would go to a DM, which then would take them to a opt-in page, okay? Which would then take them to a video sales letter. So it's just, video sales letter is just literally how it sounds, it's a video, and then to a call. And so the benefit was like, either they would book a call through a DM with me, or they would watch the VSL and book the call here. So they click on the ad, it's like, hey, thanks so much, here's the training. They'd watch the training and they'd book the call, or I would go back and say, hey, John, what's up? What are your fitness goals? And I'd have a conversation with them to book the call. And so the cool thing was like, they could book a call either way. So on average, just so you guys understand the numbers, what I would do is I spend $1,000, I get 100 leads, because B2C is usually about $10 a lead. B2C is business to consumer. I get 10 calls, so the law of 10 here. 10% of 1,000 is 100, 10% of 100 is 10, and then 10% of that is 1. And remember, that would be the sales. So I get 10 calls, 1,000 leads, 1 sale. And so the cool part is if I was selling at this point, I raised my price to $3,200. Okay, I didn't start there, but I did over time raise my price. So I'd spend $1,000 to make $3,200. Okay, sometimes it'd even be better. I'd make 2 sales for $1,000. So once I was able to figure that out, you just pour the money on. So for me, I was doing $1 million a year. I peaked this business at about 150,000 a month, and I was spending, I want to say about 20 grand a month to get there, something like that. Okay, so I was doing 150,000 a month, and I was doing 20 grand a month. Then what happened is I had a line of personal trainers that were like, hey, help me make money, because we don't make money either. Most personal trainers are broke. At first I said, I didn't really want to do that. I'm good. I do this fitness thing, but I had a line out the door. You guys got to remember at the time I was 25, and so, I said, hey, like, if you pay me 10K, I'll do it. So I had 15 people at that time pay me 10K to teach them how to do it, to start. I was like, wow, that was a lot. So I was able to completely change my price point. So the benefit of when that happened is because now I went from a $3,000 price point, or $3,200, right, to $10,000. And so what that allowed me to do is I could spend way more money on ads, I could hire way more staff, and I was able to grow a lot faster. So in this business right here, when I was doing 150,000 a month, I basically just had 2 setters. Okay, so when I say setter, it was people who would answer the DMs. I had a sales rep and I had 2 coaches. Okay, so pretty small team. And the cool part is if you're doing you have a 7-figure business and it's high ticket, you can have a pretty small team. Now, when I got to this $10,000 offer, I was now making 3 times the amount of money per sale, right? So I was really able to start pushing the ads and hiring staff. So this offer, I did $10 million in a year. This one right here, I just did $1 million in 12 months. This one, I 10x'd it, right? It was actually probably the craziest year of my life, and I was just absolutely going, crazy. So what ended up happening is I was spending a couple $100,000 a month on ads, but my returns were way higher, way higher. And so the way I was able to do that is once I switched to this offer, I was running the same type of funnel, right? So you guys remember this funnel right here, opt-in, VSL, call. And it was the same thing. They could either book a call here or here, but now I can spend way more money and I have way more staff. So the only difference, and here's the part a lot of people don't understand, is scaling a business isn't really more complex. It's just doing the same things faster. So the difference between doing $1 million a year in this business and $10 million a year in this business was I just spent way more money on ads, so more money. I had more staff and I had more clients. And that's where the complexity comes from, because now when you're servicing more clients, you have more staff, etc., it gets a lot harder, right? Because now you got more hands on the cookie jar and people can mess up. Okay, so that got me to $10 million a year. I could go into like more nitty gritty about like what to say and how to say it, etc., but like I want to show you guys kind of strategically how I was able to get there. Obviously, like, when it comes to the one couple of tricks I'll tell you guys is people talk a lot about leadership and being a good CEO. I don't think it's actually that important. And what I mean by that is your business is only as good as your team. So if you hire capable people, you can actually be pretty horrendous at leadership. A lot of people will say they're good leaders, but in reality, they just have really smart people on the team. When you have really dumb people, you can be the best leader in the world, but the dumb person still will not be able to move the needle. So after, I've had 100 plus staff at a time, right? I've had, 50,000 clients. Like, I've been in business for 8 years. Like, the number one thing that you can learn as a CEO is how to hire and train staff, okay? Not even how to train staff. I would just say how to hire staff, how to be able to find the best players and then put them in the right positions. And it's just, when you think about sports, whether it's like American football or regular football or basketball or baseball, whatever, you're hiring the best player. You're not bringing in someone who's like, oh yeah, they have great potential. You're hiring the best people, because the best people are going to be easier to work with, right? So if I hire, if I have the first pick in the draft and I hired pick the best athlete, let's say Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi or whoever, is the top soccer player right now, they're going to do a better job because they have more skill, okay? And so that's kind of the same thing here. So this got me to $10 million a year. And then after that, which took me kind of the rest of the way over the next 8 years, was I had more people asking for help outside of the fitness realm, right? So I went from fitness, so we'll draw this out. I went from fitness, PTs, and now it was kind of what I call general business owner. So from fitness to PTs to general owner. And so what happened is now I was able to go to 15 million, and then the next year we went to 25 million a year. The reason that I was able to do that is because when I went from fitness to PTs, my lead cost was like 10 bucks here, and then over here it was like 25. So it cost me a lot more money to find a personal trainer because there's less personal trainers than people who are out of shape. But then when I went back to general business owners, so let's just say a business owner who was not in the fitness niche, I was able to bring that lead cost back down to $10. And so that allowed me to spend about the same, but make way more money. That got me to 15 million a year. And then when I went to 25 million a year, all we did is add back-end product. So we had all these business owners and we were consulting and coaching them. And then I said, okay, let's just start doing stuff for them that they'll pay extra money for. So we started doing done for you ads. We started doing done for you like setters. We started doing done for you sales reps. We started doing, done for you content. And so what would happen is it increased our LTV, because if you guys actually just read the book that Hermosi just put out, Money Models, it actually will talk about this, where we bring them in, but now on the back end, we sell them more stuff, right? So if they discontinued or they wanted more things, they could pay us more money, and then that would increase our LTV, which got us from 15 to 25 million. Because when we're getting 15 million a year, we're getting hundreds of clients, right? Thousands of clients. We would get, 4 or 5 people a day paying us 10K. And yeah, so anyways, so that's how we went to basically 2 million a month, and that's how we got to 141 million over 8 years. So just to like show you guys how this all worked is my first year of business, I did 1 mil. Second year we did 10. Third year we did 15. Fourth year we did 25. Fifth year we did 25. Trying to make sure I can do math correctly. 6. And then we got stuck like around here. Long story short, this was about what it looked like. And so the reason I actually moved on, I started building software companies and getting into private equity and hedge funds, is because at a certain point, this type of business gets very difficult to scale. So if you get it to 2 million a month in the information marketing space or digital product space, you're in the top 0.001%. There's other markets where if you're doing 2 million a month, you're barely scratching the surface, it's nothing, right? And so there's just better vehicles and better models. But for the average person who has no money, no income, you're trying to start from scratch, you're trying to lower your risk, this is the best business you can get into. And I'm glad I did, because I've learned a ton of stuff that can now carry me into other businesses. But that's essentially how I was able to do 141 million in 8 years.